And the first of the night is ripped down the right field line into the corner. This ball is foul. And a loud strike one. Here's what we're talking about. Death, taxes, and Ichiro. In each of his first 8 MLB seasons, you can count on 200+ hits. You can count on 30+ stolen bases. As Lincecum works in a hurry and fires a strike, and the count is 0-2. He gets hits, he gets on base, he can run. He's a very good outfielder. He's a Gold Glove Award winner 8 times over. Rookie of the Year, MVP. He's done it all. Jeter is next, and the 0-2 pitch is high with a fastball, ball 1. So again, Ichiro, then Jeter, then Mauer. We talked about it going to break, that the last time the National League won the Midsummer Classic was 1996. High again, 2-2.
No other hitter in my experience can adjust to a 2-strike pitch any better than Ichiro. Often with 2 strikes, he'll try to get on top of the ball, hit the high chopper, and beat it out.
And he breaks his bat and gets a base hit into right field. So Lincecum got an 0-2 count. Missed high with a couple, and then Ichiro gets him with a broken bat, base hit to right. It brings in another guy who's pretty good with 2 strikes as well, Derek Jeter.
And with that hole open on the right side, Ichiro with great speed. The American League with 6 stolen bases in last year's game in 7 tries.
10th All-Star appearance for Derek Jeter. He was the top vote getter in the American League, and he's had a real resurgence with the bat here in 2009. Tied for 3rd with that average of .321, and this ought to be interesting. Ichiro likes to run. And the guy behind the plate for the National League, Yadier Molina, likes to throw.
He is the highest percentage of any throwing catcher in the major leagues. Almost 58% of runners who try are caught stealing.
A late swing and a foul by Jeter, who has 10 home runs in the new Yankee Stadium, which has become known as the best hitters ballpark across the big leagues. And I think it was dubbed that after about 3 games.
The first 3 games against Cleveland this year.
Ichiro starts and stops, and Jeter fouls it back, strike 2. There's the starter from the Toronto Blue Jays, Roy Halladay. Sitting in front of a fan, cooling off after his warm-up bullpen session, and he will take on the National League in the bottom of this inning. 0-2. Talked about you can count on 30+ stolen bases for Ichiro. He has 19 on the season, been caught 6 times. And that caught Jeter in the hand or wrist or forearm, and that'll put the first 2 on for the American League, but not what any Yankee fan, or any member of the Yankees organization wants to see in an All-Star game.
Derek appears to be all right. It appeared to hit the, wow, it probably got some knob of the bat, but it appeared to hit the outside part of the left hand. But Derek appears to be all right, and you're right. Yankee fans breathing a sigh of relief.
Pitch registered at 81 miles per hour, and it caught Jeter on the left hand, and so he's at first. Ichiro is at second, and Lincecum is in trouble here in the first inning. Ichiro starts and stops at second, and he's been hopping around on the last couple of pitches from Lincecum. Well, how good is Joe Mauer, Tim McCarver?
He's won 2 batting titles as a catcher. Just think about the pounding the left hand takes when you're catching. The better the pitching staff, the worse the pounding your left hand has. And a lot of times your 3rd, 4th, 5th at bats of a ball game, they're give up at bats. That's why it's remarkable for a guy not only tough on the legs of Joe Mauer, but tough on that left hand, because a lot of times you come up in the 3rd, 4th, 5th at bats, you're hitting with 8 fingers.
2-0 the count. Lincecum in jeopardy of giving up runs here in the first inning, and he fires a strike to make it 2-1. Mauer had off-season kidney surgery, missed about the first month of the season, but since he came back to the active roster for the Twins, all he's done is hit. Has one of the prettiest left-handed strokes you'll see. That's a ball, and the count 3-1. And in this baseball-heavy town, you can hear the fans, unlike some of the All-Star games we've been to, oohing and eyeing with every pitch. Wondering, I'm sure, at the end if the National League can break this string as Mauer's late and the count's full. National League has scored first in the last 3 games and lost all 3, and they've been one-run affairs, but unable to close the door or get over the hump. 3-2 pitch, and that's out in front of the plate. That's a fair ball. Throw to third, out, over to first, safe, and it's 2 on with 1 out and nearly a double play.
You talk about quick reactions. Molina had to make a decision. The speed is on at second base. Jeter not nearly as fast as Ichiro. And Molina makes up his mind, goes to third, and the return throw by David Wright pulls Pujols off the bag toward the right field side. Mauer safe.
So Molina did the harder part, and then the throw from David Wright, as you said, pulled Pujols off the bag instead of a double play. It's first and second, 1 out, and here is Teixeira in his first year with the Yankees. Mark hitting .275, 21 home runs. The 5th best total in the AL of 63 RBIs. That's to the right side. Pujols kicks it. Utley will chase it down. Jeter will come to the plate, and it's 1-0 American League. Albert Pujols, who made a fielding error in the first half of a day-night doubleheader on Sunday at Wrigley, makes a play here to his right. It is an error, and it's the first run of the night for the American League.
Pujols played that into an in-between hop. That ball hitting him on the left wrist. Had that ball been allowed to go through, a lot of times the second baseman will have a signal with the first baseman. He'll call his name. Louis or Albert Pujols. Whatever sign it is, he then lets the ball go through, and then the pitcher covering, you make that play. That ball was clearly an error.
So the batter now is Jason Bay. And if you haven't paid attention to what Jason Bay has done since going to the Red Sox in a trade that bailed Boston out of the Manny Ramirez situation last year, the numbers are outstanding. Since that trade, the second most RBIs in the American League with 109 for Bay. And he leads the American League with his 72 RBIs here in 09. 1-1 pitch is lined into right field. Victorino will come up throwing. They hold Mauer late, and the bases are loaded.
How you doing, Dave? You're real good, thanks.
Tom Foley, the third base coach, holding up Joe Mauer. The proper thing to do. Victorino with the Gold Glove last year. And a very good thrower. You don't take a chance with 1 out. With 2, you might send him. Not with 1.
So the 2004 Rookie of the Year, in his 3rd All-Star game, Jason Bay loads him up. And that record still stands. The only Grand Slam in All-Star game history belongs to Fred Lynn, who was in St. Louis for this All-Star game here tonight. And Hamilton grounds to first. Throw to second, out. Back to first. Lincecum wasn't there, and it's 2-0 American League. Mauer scores, and the AL has 2 here in the first, and at first and third, 2 out.
Yeah, Lincecum late in covering, and Pujols getting rid of the ball as quickly as possible. Ramirez wanted to throw to first, but no one was there. I don't think they're going to get Josh Hamilton. Too much speed.
So here's a league that hasn't won over the last 12 games in this Midsummer Classic, and they are shooting themselves in the foot here in the first inning defensively. A poor throw by David Wright from third base. A miscue by Pujols on the play to his right. And now it's Michael Young. First pitch swinging. Here's another chance for Wright, who has a long throw, and by half a step gets Young to end the inning. 2 in the first for the AL National League coming up against Halladay. Once again, here is tonight's National League lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Hanley Ramirez leads off. Chase Utley bats second. Albert Pujols hitting third. Ryan Braun in right field. Raul Ibanez in left. David Wright. Shane Victorino. Yadier Molina does the catching, and Tim Lincecum is pitching and batting ninth. So here is Hanley Ramirez. And there is ball one low from Roy Halladay representing the Toronto Blue Jays.
You said in the opening he has been the buoy of the Toronto Blue Jays for the last decade. What a performer. Scouting report, he has been the I-beam. We looked that up. I'm not an architect or anything, but the I-beam is supposedly the structure of the house. That's why we use that wording there. He works very fast and works very effectively to both sides of the plate.
Who'd you make look that up? And why?
The Architecture Digest. What?
Hanley Ramirez hits one to second like a rocket, and Aaron Hill makes the play, one out. Tonight's game is sponsored by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. Find out how every generation refreshes the world at refresheverything.com. By Gillette, the best a man can get. And by Prescription Spiriva. There's a look at Michael Young, who was at third base. I'm going to tell you why he was in the starting lineup when he was at the plate, but he went after the first pitch, so he didn't get a chance. Evan Longoria had a cut that turned into an infection in his finger. He is better today. They think he'll be better by the weekend. He's obviously got his manager here, Joe Maddon, so he was at least optimistic that they'll get Evan Longoria back. He's here. Longoria was introduced before the game, but not good enough to play. So Michael Young from the Texas Rangers, certainly deserving with all that he's done, gets the start at third base. Pujols on deck. Chase Utley at the plate, and the count's 1-1 strike. 100 plus RBIs for 4 straight years from this second baseman, Chase Utley. He also had that hip surgery, and he has worked his way back and is much better here in 2009 and now in the hole 1 and 2.
When Chase had that surgery last November, the Phillies didn't think he'd be back until the middle of May, but he heals quickly and loves to play.
Halladay, a power right-hander, brings it, and it's up and away a bit, 2-2. The question is now, where will Roy Halladay finish this season and pitch next year? He's under contract for 1 more year at big dollars, the $15 million neighborhood. At some point tonight, we'll talk to Ken Rosenthal about that. 1 out. Utley grounds to first. Teixeira gets the big hop, 2 out, and here comes Albert Pujols. Seen their favorite make an error already in this All-Star game, and it's set up the 2 runs scored by the American League in the top half of this inning, with flashbulbs popping around this park. The great, and I mean great, Albert Pujols takes the ball.
Nobody has had numbers through his first 9 years like Albert Pujols. Nobody in the history of the game.
The reigning MVP takes a strike, and it's 1-1. You said early in the year, and I agree with you 100%, that the page is turned, and the best player in the game, certainly the best hitter in the game, is standing at the plate right now. 2-1.
It was A-Rod, now it's Pujols.
One of 3 players to have 100 or more RBIs in each of his first 8 seasons. Al Simmons did it 11 years. Ted Williams 8. That's down, 3-1. With Brian Braun on deck. With 2 out, Pujols rips one to third, and what a play by Michael Young. Poor defense in the top of this first. Eye-popping defense on this play by Michael Young with a stab to his left. We go to the second in St. Louis, 2-0 AL. First pitch swinging is Aaron Hill. Grounds to the shortstop Ramirez, and like that, one out. Here in the top of the second, and Roy Halladay will be the hitter. Tonight, did you know Holiday Inn has the AL and NL All-Stars hitting to support two outstanding charities? The AL is hitting for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, while the NL is swinging for the MLB RBI program presented by KPMG. The hits will be tracked on the Holiday Inn Hit Tracker in right center field. The team with the most hits will earn a $50,000 donation for their charity. The other team's charity receives $25,000 courtesy of Holiday Inn. In baseball, Holiday Inn is the official partner of MLB Road Trips. Go to holidayinn.com to book reservations for your next road trip. And here's Roy Halladay, who for this road trip to St. Louis evidently didn't pack a helmet.
Didn't think he'd be hitting.
I think they took the sticker off the front. He may be wearing Evan Longoria's helmet. There's a strike over the outside corner in the count, 2-2. Well, we know you all tuned in for a Roy Halladay at bat. With one out, nobody on, he slaps at it and fouls it. Ken Rosenthal is with us before we go too far in this game. Kenny, where do you think Roy Halladay will end up, if anywhere, other than Toronto?
Joe, he is going to be traded, in my opinion. The Phillies and Yankees are two teams to watch. Right now, the Jays are looking at teams all over the country, farm systems. They've got their scouts all over the place. They're not going to rush into any deal without first exploring every possibility. Now, Halladay, he's got that full no-trade clause. Since arriving in St. Louis, he has discussed numerous scenarios with his agent, but he hasn't formed any concrete plans, hasn't come up with a list of preferred teams. One other thing, the Jays are not ruling out trading Halladay within the division to the Red Sox or Yankees. They only want to make the best deal.
Well, you can see Halladay smiling on his way back. He said something to Ichiro like, you try to hit that curveball. I can't. And he's the second out here in the second inning, and here's Suzuki. Ichiro singled, and that kind of got things started for the American League. Then the hit batsman, Jeter, in the first. Mauer reached on a force out at third. Then the error by Pujols on a ball hit by Teixeira. Base hit by Bay. And a force out hit into by Josh Hamilton for an RBI. And it's 2-0 American League. And Tim, you and I might be fast wearing those shoes.
Yeah.
How
Let's
about
don't get carried away now.
The 1-1 pitch is out of the strike zone, 2-1. How about Ichiro's face in the American League clubhouse when he was handing a baseball to President Obama asking for an autograph?
That to me was the best expression in the clubhouse. Delighted, sheer delight, like a 12-year-old.
We didn't have the audio, but after President Obama signed the baseball, he handed it back and he said, "Here you go, Hall of Famer." Here is a line drive into right, hit hard, but right at Ryan Braun. We go to the bottom of the second here in St. Louis. NL coming up, down 2-0 to the American League. On Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Well, we are honored to be joined here in our broadcast booth in St. Louis as we move to the bottom of the second inning, and the National League will bat. That means Ryan Braun will lead it off. By the gentleman who is the 44th President of the United States of America. Here you are, Mr. Barack Obama. What an honor.
Well, it is. This is as much fun as I've had in quite some time.
Tell us about wearing the jacket. Mark Burley said you were going to wear the jacket, the White Sox jacket, and he thought you were kidding.
No, listen. Everybody knows I'm a White Sox fan, and my wife thinks I look cute in this jacket. So, between those two things, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I give you credit because most of the time politicians will try to play it down the middle, but there's not a lot of Cub love coming from.
Listen, I'm not a Cubs hater. You guys have met some of these White Sox fans just hate the Cubs. I'm not one of those guys. I just don't root for them. That's all.
I wonder if a night like this for you, you've been all over the place. You've been in Russia. You've been in Rome meeting with Pope Benedict. You were in Africa, in Ghana, which I know was an emotional trip. Right. For you and gave that speech. I wonder, coming here tonight has got to be such a nice respite for you just to enjoy a game.
Enjoying the game, but also, first of all, I served in Illinois, and everybody knows Southern Illinois is Cardinals country. So I've got a lot of friends here. It's as close to home as I've been in a while, and this is the national pastime. So to go down there, meet Stan Musial and Bob Gibson and those guys, and it's such a reminder about what's great about this country. You can't beat it, and it's a real treat.
You have reached the highest office in the land, and yet I would imagine that your heart must have been pounding underneath that Sox jacket when you stepped out there to throw out the ceremonial first
Well,
pitch.
this is the second time I've done it. Now, I threw it out during the American League Championship series that the Sox ended up winning the World Series. And when you're a senator, they show you no respect, so they just hand you the ball. You don't get a chance to warm up. Now, here, at least they had me down with Pujols in the batting cage, practicing a little bit.
Did you do any practice before? Did you forget the baseline moves for a while and put the basketball down and then pick up the baseball any time on Air Force One?
I tell you what, we did a little practicing in the Rose Garden, but what is true is I'm a great baseball fan. I did not play organized baseball when I was a kid. And so, I think some of these natural moves aren't so natural to me.
You mentioned the White Sox winning the World Series back in 2005. For being a fan for so long, that had to be a thrill for you.
It was just wonderful. And I was just talking to Jerry Reinsdorf, the White Sox owner, about this. They had just lost the first game, and after I threw out my pitch, they won 8 straight. So, if any of these teams need a lefty.
Well, you've kind of been in the predicting business here lately, and you're 2 for your last 2.
I'm 2 for 2.
Well, you had
North Carolina and the Steelers.
Okay, so then the next question is, here we are in 2009. Who takes it all?
It's a little early for that.
Okay.
I tend to try to get a little more information. I tell you what, though, what's been interesting about baseball this year, other than the Dodgers, who've been playing terrific ball, is there's a lot of parity, which I think is terrific because it means, everybody around the country has a little bit of hope for their team. They're thinking that maybe the exception might be the Nationals, who are still young and just have a new ballpark.
They just fired their manager, but they seem to be outside of that.
I noticed Tim's just biting his lip over here.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be.
You're trying to be politically correct.
I'm trying to be encouraging to the country and the baseball fans everywhere.
Okay. I was actually thinking of when you honored the Philadelphia Phillies, the world champions, at the White House about 3 weeks ago.
Had a lot of fun. Wonderful people. Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins. The whole crew there was just a class act, and I like the way they play. Scrappy team and real team ball, and so very impressive. And my campaign manager was this. He was from Delaware, so he was a crazy Phillies fan, and them winning kept him in a good mood, even when we were having problems.
And right on cue, a Philadelphia Phillies, Shane Victorino gets a base hit into right, and it's 2 on with 2 out. For the National League, who are down 2-0,
By the way, this is a Hawaiian kid. And since I grew up in Hawaii, this kid, while we were down in the clubhouse, he actually gave me some macadamia nuts from back home.
He is the first position player to come out of Hawaii. There have been 3 pitchers, but he's the first position player.
Great guy.
Yeah. The National League has Yadier Molina at the plate. The National League, as you know, hasn't won the All-Star game since 1996.
This is a problem.
You were starting your political career. You were elected to the Illinois State Senate. I mean, that's how long it's been. Here's a foul out of play. So I'm thinking
what's your guys' theory on that? Why it is? I mean, 3-4 years you can say it's just happenstance. It starts getting to be a trend when you're starting to look at 12 years. What's going on?
I think the National League's trying to catch up with the American League because of the designated hitter.
Right.
I think the DHs add so much offense that when you get in an All-Star game, even though you may have the pitcher hitting, the overall lineup is much stronger.
And to be quite honest, the American League has just been a better league.
Yeah.
They've dominated interleague play
over the last several years.
And over the last several years, I think the National League is catching up. I really do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, Molina's at the plate with 2 on and 2 out. No bailout plan, though, in place for the National League. That's
no, man, we're out of money.
There's a base hit into center field. Here comes David Wright, safe, 2-1. Ball gets away from Hawaii, from the Phillies. Shane Victorino ties it. It's 2-2.
There you go.
When you give the President of the United States macadamia nuts, good things happen.
Good things happen.
That's right.
Absolutely.
The hometowner, Yadier Molina, got a base hit to center. Ball got away. There'll be an error on the play. And Molina, who's really worked hard to make himself a better hitter, as with that swing and that throw by Hamilton from center that got away, tied this game at 2.
You may ask yourself, why no pitcher backing up third? Because Roy Halladay was backing up home, thinking the throw was going to be there.
Right.
But it went to third off of Victorino's shoulder, and he scores easily to tie the ball game.
And so now you go from Yadier Molina, who is celebrating here in his home park, to one of the most dangerous pinch hitters you can find anywhere, Prince Fielder, who won the home run derby here last night. And you had a nice moment before this game, Mr. President, with Prince Fielder and Ryan Howard and Albert Pujols saying, hey guys, your home city, your home park, and this guy got you for the home run derby.
And you could tell they weren't entirely happy about it. They smiled, but
that's into the corner and fair. He's calling a ground rule double. Molina scores, and it's 3-2 National League.
All right. How about that?
The left field umpire, Tim Timmons, working his first All-Star game, clearly a fair ball, put his hands up. Typically that means foul ball. He put his hands up when the ball jumped into the seats. And how about Prince Fielder right off the bench to give the National League the lead? And well, there you go. There is Mark Buehrle, who's about to loosen up for the American League.
It's about time.
So Halladay gets roughed up here with 2 out in the bottom of the second, and just like that, the NL is on top.
Mr. President, my partner asked Joe Madden not to put Mark Buehrle into the game while you were here because Mark Buehrle works too quickly. We wouldn't have enough time with you.
He even warms up, I would imagine.
Well, he's had a good season. He got roughed up a little bit himself his last game, but I think he's doing well.
Hanley Ramirez grounds out. You've been luck. Can you stay for one more moment? Is that all right? Or
let me find out what our situation is. I think I'm getting the cue.
You told me that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
It's been an honor.
It's a wonderful
pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
There it is. The ceremonial first pitch, and luck for the NL. In the bottom of the second, they're up 3-2. we've had some action already in the St. Louis Cardinals closer, Ryan Franklin, who's been a revelation this year for the Cardinals. He has 21 saves in 22 tries and a microscopic ERA of 0.79. Derek Jeter first up, grounds to second, rolls up the arm of Utley, 1 out. Jeter, who was hit by a pitch and scored a run of the first, grounds out. Paul Nart is down the right field line. Tim Timmons down the left field line. Angel Hernandez working third base. Jeff Kellogg at second. At first base is Brian Gorman. Dana DeMuth is the home plate umpire in his 26th year in Major League Baseball and working his third All-Star game. He's the crew chief. And they get that honor here on the 14th of July in St. Louis, 2009. Here is Mauer. And a good breaking ball from Franklin for strike one. Well, I tried to ask for another half inning. I mean, you can't blame the guy for trying.
Oh, absolutely. He does have a rather hectic schedule, though. We can understand that.
You know,
yes.
The answer is not yes if you don't ask.
That's right.
Here is a line drive caught by Pujols, 2 out, and we go down to the field and check in with Chris Rose. Chris.
All right, Joe, thank you. Doc, I know that second inning didn't go the way that you wanted, but still, sum up the whole experience between starting an All-Star game, getting to meet the president, the whole bit.
It's overwhelming. You know,
Well, we lost the microphone. We'll ask Chris later what Roy Halladay said. With 2 out, nobody on. Ryan Franklin, I mean, this is a perfect example. Here's Franklin. You have no time to tell his story, and his story's a good one. In 3 years, averaging over 200 innings as a starter in Seattle, goes to Philadelphia. Charlie Manuel, who's managing him right now tonight, moves him to the bullpen. He didn't like it. Came to St. Louis hoping to make the starting rotation. He ended up as the primary setup reliever for Jason Isringhausen. Isringhausen leaves. The Cardinals started the year trying 2 kids, Perez and Mott, as closers. They weren't ready. Perez has since been traded to the Cleveland Indians in the Mark DeRosa deal. And all Franklin has done has been just about perfect since becoming the closer for St. Louis.
Joe, we've been together for 14 years, and we often talk about how dangerous the slider is. Ryan Franklin told me in Chicago this last weekend he's thrown 1 slider this year. It was hit for a home run. He said, I'll never throw another one.
With 2 out, nobody on, Teixeira just got a piece to stay alive. So the count remains 1-2, and Mark Teixeira just got a piece. While we were talking to President Obama with 2 out, nobody on. Wright got a hit, little blue pit. Victorino a solid base hit to right. Molina with a base hit to score a run, an error on the play, tie game, and then a pinch hit, RBI double, hit by Prince Fielder. Now a 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Franklin. His night is finished, and Pujols flips him the baseball, and we'll try to flip one out of here. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd. He is due up second for the NL, up 1. quicker in the big leagues than Mark Buehrle, and there's nobody that from the left side has really worked any better than Mark Buehrle for the Chicago White Sox since 2001. This guy has been automatic, and he fires a strike, and you will, if you've never seen him pitch, enjoy his pace, as I'm sure his infielders and outfielders do behind him. He's waiting on the hitter. The 0-1. Good pitch down and in. Utley in the hole. 0-2.
Mark Buehrle is a thorough professional from St. Charles, Missouri, and has made it known to everybody that he wants to pitch for the Cardinals one day, even for a day.
Here's Utley into left center field, and over to get it is Hamilton for out number 1. Batter will be Pujols. Hits for Hunger. Builds upon the Bank of America $1 million grant to Feeding America, serving 25 million Americans who are at risk of hunger. Bank of America will donate $5,000 to Feeding America for every hit during tonight's game. Make your donation now to feedingamerica.org and help bring an end to hunger. Here's Albert Pujols. Hit a shot over to third his first time up. Michael Young made a very good play. He's 0 for 1. In case you're wondering, manager Charlie Manuel was guaranteeing 2 at-bats and was hedging on whether there would be a third for Albert Pujols.
Yeah, he said in order to get him 3 at-bats, he wanted to hit him first, but he didn't have enough courage to do that. He said maybe next year.
2-1 is hit to the right side. Good defensive positioning by Teixeira, way off the bag. 2 out.
There are 3 terrific defensive first basemen in the American League. Carlos Pena, Kevin Youkilis, they're all here tonight, and Mark Teixeira.
2-time Gold Glove Award winner. Carlos Pena, you mentioned, outstanding. Some think that Adrian Gonzalez of the San Diego Padres may be the best out of all of them, which is saying a lot. Here's Ryan Braun, and there is Mark Buehrle. A strike. Since 2001, among left-handed pitchers across baseball, number 2 in games started, number 1 in innings pitched, number 1 in wins, number 4 in complete games with 23, and the 7th most strikeouts. To his left and in, it's Jeter, and that is a typical Buehrle inning. Down they go, 1, 2, 3, quickly. 4th inning, 3-2-0. All-Star Game on Fox is sponsored by the all-new Chevy Equinox, offering an EPA estimated 32 mpg highway and up to 600 highway miles between fill-ups. See your local Chevy dealer. Beautiful night here in St. Louis, and Jason Bay, who has a base hit, walks to the plate to lead it off against the new National League pitcher Dan Haren, who has to be, for the Cardinals and their fans, in the category of one that got away. Dan Haren came up in the Cardinal organization. He's working in his third All-Star game. Started for the American League with the A's in 2007, the game in San Francisco. And first pitch swinging, line drive to right, and staggering is Ryan Braun, but he makes the play. One out. Let's hope that Chris's microphone's working this time. Chris Rose.
Yeah, Joe, that's the nice thing about an All-Star game. A lot of reserve players and reserve microphones as well. I'm joined by the White Sox hurler Mark Buehrle, who's from the St. Louis area, and the president wearing your team's jacket. What a great night for you, man.
It was awesome. He said something in the clubhouse that he was going to put one on, a shirt or something with socks, and I didn't think he was. I thought he was kind of joking around. I thought he had to wear something, All-Star. But everybody was getting on me about it. Look at him. He's got the White Sox stuff on. It's pretty cool.
Did you get your photo? I know you wanted one with him.
Yeah, we wanted to, but he obviously was in a hurry. Kind of come by just saying hi to each person, and he signed a couple autographs. And he's got a lot more important stuff to do.
You're from St. Charles, Missouri, which is about 25 minutes from the stadium or so. So we're talking extra special moment.
Yeah, it was. It's special, especially to have family and friends here and be able to pitch here. I didn't know, obviously, pitching on Sunday if I was able to pitch here, but and getting face ball is one of the best hitters in the league right now. I think that's something special.
Quick work once again, in and out like 6 pitches. Mark, congratulations. Joe, let's send it back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you. And Dan Haren is the pitcher that got away. That last pitch was one that got away, and Yadier Molina turned around and just caught it like no problem catching a ball behind him. Here is Hamilton. Did not extend his arms, and Victorino is there for out number 2. When we talk about Danny Haren, he's only allowed 1 run in 4 All-Star innings that he's pitched. But here's a guy who was 6-10 as a Cardinal, was traded away after that 2004 season when the Cardinals won the NL pennant but lost to the Red Sox in the World Series. They traded him in December of that year with Derek Barton and Kiko Calero to get Mark Mulder, who was never really healthy here in St. Louis. Base hit through the left side past David Wright, and Michael Young, who got the late nod to be the third base starter, is 1 for 2, and he's on with 2 out here in the 4th.
One of the reasons that Dan Haren is so difficult is because of that hesitation. Normally, when a pitcher picks that left leg up, he's supposed to deliver the ball quickly. But that hesitation throws off a hitter's timing. You really don't know when to get in your attack mode if you're a hitter. It's very, very difficult to pick Dan Haren up.
At the plate is Aaron Hill, his first All-Star game. Maybe the best number 2 hitter in baseball when you look at his numbers. He ranks first among number 2 hitters in home runs, hits, and RBIs. Plays for the Toronto Blue Jays, and he is a very powerful second baseman, and here's a very powerful right-hander, Dan Haren.
Yeah, see, from the stretch, he doesn't do that. He's using the slide move with speed on Michael Young at first base. But from the windup, he will hesitate with his left leg, and it's very difficult to pick up by a hitter.
2 outs, a runner at first, and Aaron Hill in the hole 0-2. Molina blocks it in the dirt. So fundamentally sound, has a cannon for a throwing arm, and he has 31 pickoffs. A guy that if you're at first base, second base, third base, you better be on your toes or he'll get you.
Well, the 31st pickoff we saw on Saturday against the Chicago Cubs with Ryan Theriot on at first base, and it was one of the more remarkable catcher's play I have ever seen. Behind the left-handed batter, and the throw to a shocked Theriot at first base to get him.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Aaron Hill. On deck is Carlos Pena, who would bat for the pitcher Buehrle. The next is down and away, and this was Yadier Molina on Saturday at Wrigley.
Phenomenal. Just to catch that ball is one thing, but to be in a throwing position and throw it as quickly as he did Stunning.
There goes Young, and a smash to short picked up by Hanley Ramirez, and that sends us into the bottom of the fourth. NL to the plate, up by a run. What a night it's been, and here is Zach Greinke, and there is Ibanez going after the first pitch, pops it up, foul territory. Michael Young finds it and catches it. 1 pitch, 1 out. And Raul Ibanez, who at 37 is having a career year. He's been dealing with a groin injury, but he's the oldest non-pitcher to make an All-Star game debut since Babe Ruth at the age of 38. In the first game in 1933 at Comiskey, and of course you know what happened in that game. Ruth, what do you think he did?
Of course, he hit the first home run in All-Star competition.
So Ibanez was a real interesting story. He didn't have a season where he had 300 at bats in a year until he turned 30. Designated for assignment a couple of times by Kansas City, and that's the organization Zach Greinke represents, and he fires a strike to David Wright. 5 complete games the first 10 starts of the year for Zach Greinke, with 2 shutouts mixed in. First 29 innings pitched this season, no earned runs allowed. He's got power, he's got finesse. 4-pitch pitcher, and he's a guy who has worked his way back, trying to control a social anxiety disorder. After leaving his team in spring of 2006, he has worked his way back. Bob McClure, longtime Brewer, short time with the Cardinals, is his pitching coach in Kansas City. His manager Trey Hillman is here with him in St. Louis, and he's had a lot of support. Buddy Bell, the former Kansas City manager, was a guy who really supported Zach Greinke, and These guys around him have built him up, and now they're seeing just how good he can be. That is filthy. Over the outside corner, 2 out.
After all those fastballs and then the slider to just nip the corner to right.
Our trivia question tonight brought to you by Domino's American Legends Pizzas. 6 amazingly regionally inspired tastes, each with a cheesy crust. Who are the only 2 MLB legends to win the Triple Crown twice? Here's Victorino. And like he was for the Phillies during October last year, he's been right in the middle of the action here tonight with a single, a run scored, and that 3-run bottom of the second.
He was the 33rd player added to the roster, each team with 33 players. In fact, Victorino made a little campaign with the mayor of Philadelphia, Michael Nutter. They went door to door, and Victorino said, you know, I'm not used to doing that. I don't know if that's a good idea. And Michael Nutter said, the mayor of Philadelphia said, that's how I got elected.
You saw the list of natives of Hawaii to make an all-star game. 3 pitchers, and now Shane Victorino, who's one of the real good guys in this game. Good player. 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss on another nasty pitch in the dirt. That does it for the bottom of the 4th. Flying through it, 5th inning now. 9-1 and 2 hitters coming up for the American League as they trail it 3-2. By Domino's American Legends Pizzas. By AT&T, your world delivered. And by the all-new Chevy Equinox. Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Only DirecTV brings you theater quality 1080p picture and Dolby 5.1 sound. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Carl Crawford will come off the bench. Number of changes. Ryan Zimmerman from the Nationals takes over at third base. Not the only. After the first pitch, Crawford takes a strike. And the new pitcher will give you him after we tell you that's Brad Hoppen right. Braun has switched over to left field, so Braun stays in the ballgame. He's at the other corner outfield spot, and Chad Billingsley is on the mound. If you were trying and attempting to keep the scorecard at home, I applaud you. And Hop is batting 5th, Zimmerman 9th, and the pitcher spot right now is 6th for the National League. It's down and in, and Crawford ahead on the count, 2 balls and a strike. Carl Crawford is the guy that gets on base and makes things happen for the Tampa Bay Rays. The top base stealer in the game, and we're going to see him test Yadier Molina at some point here in a moment as Crawford is on to lead off.
More than any other player in recent memory, Carl Crawford has made it very common that, look, if I get on, I'm going to try to steal. And you have an ideal situation with the hitter up, Ichiro Suzuki, a lot tougher to throw for a catcher. But again, the strong arm of Molina behind the plate.
Crawford's a guy who stole 6 bases in a game on May 3rd against the Red Sox. When you look at his stolen base percentage among players in the American League, he's number 2 since 1950 to Willie Wilson, the great Kansas City Royal. Here is Ichiro, and Billingsley with more of a slide step. You know he's aware of the speed, not only at first base but at the plate. Ball 1 high. There goes Crawford, and a foul straight back by Ichiro.
Tremendous jump by Crawford, such acceleration. Hall of Famer we saw before the game tonight, Lou Brock, second all-time in stolen bases with the Cardinals, was the fastest accelerator I have ever seen from first to second. I think Carl Crawford's a close second.
Imagine how fast he'd be if he pulled his pants up.
Well, Lou Brock had his pants pulled up.
He did way high. 1-1 pitch is fouled out of play off to the left. Carl's got the bottom of the pants dragging on the ground while he goes down to second, and you're right. I mean, he is just as explosive as they get. And it's strength on strength. It's a guy who can fly at first, and it's a guy who can take care of fast base runners and base stealers at the plate. And Billingsley gives Crawford a look. Then you have to worry about Ichiro. Counts 1 ball 2 strikes, and now a ground ball right side. Utley will go for the lead man and make a brilliant play. Aggressive by Chase Utley, and he got the out at second, 1 away.
When you consider everything with which Utley had to cope, the speed on at first base, the pivot, he's in the hole on the right side. Very, very good play by Chase Utley. I remember Eddie Stanky, who was ahead of the Cardinal farm system, used to say on a play like that, go in standing up, because you actually you are in view of the shortstop trying to receive the throw from the second baseman. It's a perfectly legal play, but a lot of times when you slide like that, you clear the view for the second baseman to throw the ball.
Doesn't get a whole lot easier for the National League now with Ichiro at first. 1 out in the inning, and the batter is Jeter. Very good at hitting the ball to the right side with that hole over there in the NL defense. Fastball for a strike from Billingsley, who is a first-time All-Star. In this game, 30 first-time All-Stars. Billingsley is 24 years old. Struck out over 200 hitters last year for LA. Became the first Dodger to do that since 2001. Never had a losing season in the minor leagues or in the big leagues. The 0-1 pitch. That's strike 2. Jeter hit by a pitch, scored a run, grounded out. Facing his 3rd different pitcher of the night. And he cried when Chris Webber called timeout, the infamous timeout when they didn't have one. He grew up rooting for Michigan Athletics, the University of. That's way outside.
If you look hard, you'll see Derek Jeter on the sidelines of the Wolverines football games during the fall. Saw him at the Notre Dame game a couple of years ago. From Kalamazoo.
Jeter, who was Rookie of the Year back in 1996. The year of the Yankees' return to greatness under Joe Torre. The first of the 4 rings under Joe. There's a diving stop by Pujols. He gets the lead man. No chance to turn 2, but after shaky defense in the first inning, Utley and Pujols have made very good plays here in the 5th.
Yeah, you talked about the hole open on the right side. A lot of holes open on the right side. But then Pujols closes it down. So first Utley, now Pujols. Very nice.
So Jeter is hitless in this game. The batter is Joe Mauer, who is hitless as well. He checks in with the top average in baseball in the first half. And we're past 81 games in the schedule, by the way, but it's considered the first half with his .373 average. Billingsley's 1-0 is high. 2-0 on deck is Teixeira.
Chad Billingsley has worked himself into a bad situation with a guy hitting .373, and he's the type pitcher that cannot come inside to Mauer, and you have to do that to keep him honest. Mauer with a great stroke to left field.
The 2-0 is in for a strike. Good zip on that fastball from Billingsley at 92. National League will have the bottom 2 in their lineup. First 2 hitters in the bottom of this 5th. That means that Molina is the biggest hit for the NL so far. Will lead off. There's strike 2, 2-2. One on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. And a foul tip. This has really been a game, this All-Star game of streaks. 1933, the first year. 1949, the American League won 12 of the 16 played. Then from 1950 to 1987, the National League went 33-8-1. From 88 through 08, AL dominance 17-3-1. There's a current and former manager of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a line drive into left field. That is trouble. Digging for third is Jeter. Digging it out of the corner is Braun. The throw by Ramirez is not made, and Mauer has tied this game at 3.
Anybody who hits for a high average will use the other part of the field in which to hit. Mauer is especially good at staying on top of the ball with that top hand. And here he lines one to left field to tie the game for the American League. Well, what a stroke he's got. A lot of people in Minnesota talking about moving Joe Mauer from behind the plate. And right now, he does not want that to happen. He wants to remain a catcher.
You think eventually that will be the move?
I think so, yeah.
Here's Teixeira. Mark Teixeira could put the American League back on top, and he lines one foul down the right field line. It's 0-2. Teixeira is 29 years old. He's with his 4th team. Second time he's been an All-Star in his first year in a Yankee uniform, and his season really took off in 2009. The moment that Alex Rodriguez returned from his hip surgery and rehab. Got protection in the lineup, and then he just took off. 0-2 pitch is hit to the right side. Kept on the infield by Pujols and turned into the final out. 2 good plays by Albert Pujols to his right. Showing this crowd again, it's not all his bat. that makes him great. 3-3 halfway through it. By Domino's American Legends Pizzas, who were the only two MLB legends to win the Triple Crown twice. The answer, Rogers Hornsby and Ted Williams. Domino's American Legends Pizzas, 6 amazing regionally inspired tastes, each with a cheesy crust. Carl Crawford stays in the ballgame. He's in left field. Adam Jones, one of the really talented young players, is out in right, and here is Edwin Jackson, our throwing right-hander, on the mound representing the Tigers, and Yadier Molina chops one to short. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and what is now a tie game. And there are the numbers for Edwin Jackson, who was with the Dodgers, the Tampa Bay Rays, goes to Detroit in a deal that nobody really paid much attention to over the offseason for an outfielder, Matt Joyce, and here he is just dominating in the first half of the season, and he's in the All-Star game.
In his first year back in the American League hitters are batting .215 against Edwin. That is the best in the American League.
Batter now is Zimmerman, first at bat, and a guy who you've probably heard a lot about, even though he plays with the Washington Nationals, a team that doesn't get a lot of national exposure. He's 24 years old, but he's in his 5th year in the big leagues, and he hits one in the air to center, sending Hamilton back in front of the track, 2 out. So Zimmerman is retired, and back to the top of the order. This summer, please join Major League Baseball in answering President Obama's call to service through the United We Serve initiative. Join the fellow All-Stars among us in your community and sign up to volunteer at MLBGoBeyond.com. Billingsley, it looks like, will do the 1 inning and be finished. And here is Hanley Ramirez. And there's a ground ball left side. To his left is Michael Young. He's played good defense all night. We go to the 6th inning. And this All-Star game is tied at 3. Sponsored by Gatorade. It's the heart, hustle, and soul of the game. That's G. Well, we'll try and get caught up here as Miguel Tejada takes over at shortstop, representing the Houston Astros, and the all-time saves leader with 574. Trevor Hoffman is on the mound. 3-3 game, and the changeup artist gets one by the bat of young Adam Jones. Strike one.
Joe, I remember a game we did on May 26th, the Phillies and the Yankees, and the day before we went into Joe Girardi's office, and he was telling us the guy who's going to be a superstar in this league is Adam Jones.
Here is a rocket into right, back at the wall. This ball is caught, sharply hit, crisp, but caught by Hoppin' right. One out. He's got a long, lean body, very strong, and Joe Girardi said, I mean, in the series at Yankee Stadium, you know, he was knocking guys down and he was hitting rockets. He hit Jabba Chamberlain with a batted ball up the middle. He said he was going to take our whole roster out single-handedly. Here's Josh Hamilton, who so far is 0 for 2, has an RBI. He'll be followed by Michael Young, who delivered the big hit. Here's a line drive into right. Pop makes the play, and Hamilton's on with one out here in the 6th inning. The MLB Clutch Performer Award, presented by Pepsi, is selected each month by a fan vote. The winners from April and June: Zach Greinke of the Royals and Tim Lincecum of the Giants. We've seen them both here tonight. Join the rest of this season's winners for consideration as the Clutch Player of the Year, presented by Pepsi. Be sure to vote at PepsiClutch.com.mlb.com for next month's winner. There is a strike to Michael Young. It's PepsiClutch.mlb.com find out more about the Pepsi Clutch performer. Here is Michael Young, who was clutch in 2006 at PNC Park in Pittsburgh against the man on the mound. He was given a lead and couldn't hang on to it, and now this time Young grounds to second for one and on to first for a double play, and a scoreless inning thrown by Trevor Hoffman. This time he gets Michael Young on a 4-6-3 double play, and the all-time saves leader gets congratulations off the field. 3-3, bottom of the sixth. Game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell, where it's all about the Roosevelts, baby. And for updates on where to find your free taco, visit twitter.com/Taco Bell Truck.
How come you didn't tweet me that day?
I tried, but then I remembered that you barely have a cell phone and no internet capability whatsoever. You see the changes can I take those plastic gloves off by now?
Very sanitary. It's very nice to see.
Absolutely. Here's Hudson lining one into right. Back at the track. It's Jones making the catch, and these guys are first pitch hacking.
That usually happens during an all-star game because the pitchers are so good you don't want to get behind them. There's Curtis Granderson.
This could be the final at bat of the night for Albert Pujols. Charlie Manuel still has his first baseman, Ryan Howard. St. Louis and Ryan Howard went to Lafayette High on his bench. Orlando Hudson pinch hitting for Chase Utley, who was 0 for 2. Now that spot in front of Pujols, 0 for 3. Pujols and the Cardinals have had trouble finding somebody to protect number 5 in the St. Louis lineup. Somebody out of the number 4 spot. Cleanup position was hitting around 220 right a couple of weeks ago when Ryan Ludwig finally got hot. Pujols spins around on a pitch inside from the flame-throwing Felix Hernandez from the Seattle Mariners, and that was power and a riding fastball. 2-0. Felix Hernandez and a chopper to short, high hop. Bartlett makes the play, 2 out. Our AT&T game summary as Pujols is 0 for 3 and maybe finished for the night. We're tied 3-3. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jeter hit by a pitch. He scored a couple of runs. The National League got 3 runs, all with 2 outs in the bottom of the 2nd. And moments ago, Joe Mauer, an RBI double with 2 out in the top of the 5th. So Bartlett made that last play, and now Ryan Braun is lifted for Justin Upton. One of the real serious 5-tool players, young guys in this game representing the Arizona Diamondbacks.
BJ, his brother, plays for Joe Madden and the Tampa Bay Rays, both phenomenal athletes who grew up in that Norfolk area. Ryan Zimmerman grew up there. Michael Kadire of Minnesota, David Wright. In fact, Justin Upton, when David Wright was like a senior in high school, Justin Upton was the bat boy for David Wright's team.
A tap foul by Justin, and the count 2-1. Well, Justin's big brother BJ was the first to get to the World Series with the Tampa Bay Rays last year, but Justin is the first All-Star Upton. Hit 15 home runs all of last year. Called up to the big leagues as a 19-year-old, and he hits a shot to short. Picked up by Bartlett. Out at first. A scoreless inning from Hernandez. We go to the 7th, tied. Back after this from your local Fox station. Last ovation here tonight as he is replaced by Adrian Gonzalez. Got to the 2nd round of the home run derby here last night. In this game, will end at 0 for 3. We're in the 7th inning in a 3-3 game. There's Adrian Gonzalez, and here's Cordero taking over from the Cincinnati Reds. Hoffman one scoreless inning with 1 hit allowed, and Cordero will pitch to Aaron Hill, Carl Crawford, and then Morneau. Here's a fly ball down toward the end of the bat. In the air to left, and Upton is there for out number 1, and we go down field level with a special St. Louis guest. Here's Eric Karros.
Joe, thanks. Well, a hectic 2 days. How you feeling?
Feel awesome. I mean, it's this is unbelievable. It's a dream come true. You know, I mean, I can go back last year watching Adrian Jeter. You know how the fan welcomed them over there, and you know what can I expect? The best fans in baseball here in St. Louis. You know, I see this every night. Every night we have a game. I mean, these fans welcome me and my family with their arm open every day. And this is awesome. You know, hosting the All-Star game, 2009 All-Star game here in St. Louis. I mean, it's a dream come true. So I thank God for allowing me to have this opportunity.
You know, I got to ask you, does the best player in the game get butterflies?
I don't think I'm the best player in the game. You know,
come on.
No, there's so many great players here that I admire. I mean, all these guys, superstars. It's just an honor to be here. But I always say, my dad always tell me, if you ain't nervous, you ain't ready. So yeah, you do. You get nervous, you know, and after that first pitch, obviously I make an error in that first inning, but it's over, you know. And yesterday with a home run, until you don't hit 1 out, you get a little nervous, but that's what it's all about. I mean, to get yourself better, you have to be nervous and learn from your mistakes. So, like I said, I thank the good Lord for giving me this opportunity, and hopefully I can continue to do it for the rest of the year and help my ball club to get to the next level, which is the World Series.
Great job. Go get some rest, man.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric, and yeah, thank you, Eric, and thank you, Albert. And it could be a quick inning here in the top of the 7th. 2 are gone. He'll fly to left. Crawford grounded out. Play made by Tejada, and Cordero brings it down and away. That's ball 1 to Justin Morneau. Morneau getting his first at bat. The numbers for Cordero: 21 saves, 5th best total in the National League. Morneau takes a tailing pitch that just stayed inside. 2-2.
Joe, this game started with the introduction of the man, and in the 7th inning, El Hombre leaves first base and heads to the dugout.
Here's a line drive caught by Zimmerman. Down goes Morneau. Down goes the AL. Time to stretch here in the 7th inning in St. Louis in a 3-3 game. Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Only DirecTV brings you theater quality 1080p picture and Dolby 5.1 sound. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Beautiful rendition by Sarah Evans. Bottom of the 7th from St. Louis when we come back. Tonight's game is sponsored by Sprint, the Now Network, by Autotrader.com. You'll find the car you want at the price you want at Autotrader.com. And by Holiday Inn, official partner of Major League Baseball road trips. We move to the bottom of the 7th inning here in St. Louis in a lightning fast all-star game. We can barely set the defense before the half inning is over, and Jonathan Papelbon will set that part. He takes over on the mound. Now you get into closer territory where it should become even tougher to score runs, and Hop goes after the first pitch, launches one to deep left field at the wall, caught by Crawford, 1 out. What a catch by Carl Crawford to start the 7th.
I don't know whether that ball would have been out. Doubtful, but it definitely hits the top of the fence. If Carl does not make this leap, it would have been a home run, or at least hit the fence, and then you don't know where it's going. No, that ball would have been out. So a home run saving catch by Carl Crawford, acknowledged by Papelbon.
So Hop went first pitch hunting and found one that he liked, he loved, and he's 0 for 1. That was a loud out. Here's Miguel Tejada. He's playing short. Defensively, just to set the players for you, Victor Martinez from the Indians is doing the catching, and he's flashing the signs out to Papelbon. 1 out, nobody on for Tejada. And a fly ball the opposite way to right at the track. This ball falls short and into the glove of Adam Jones. 2 pitches, 2 loud outs in the bottom of the 7th. And now Jason Worth, who doesn't have the reputation of being a big power hitter, but probably should. He can hit him as far as anybody in either dugout, and has had a terrific first half for the world champion Philadelphia Phillies. Digs in, 2 out, nobody on. What do you think? First pitch?
No. He'll take it.
Should be a free pitch typically, and it is, and a strike from Papelbon.
Jason, the grandson of Dick Schofield from Springfield, Illinois. Dick had a daughter, his daughter Kim. She was an Olympic skater. And Jason Worth, her son, and Kim's in the ballpark tonight.
2 out, nobody on. That's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Papelbon with his 4th consecutive All-Star selection. Among Red Sox pitchers, that's number 2 in their franchise history. Lefty Grove had 5. Here's a 1-1. Up and away, 2 balls and a strike for a guy who in 2004 was the Class A pitcher of the year, pitching for Sarasota as a starter. 24 starts for Papelbon that year, 12-7, 2.64. He saved 3 of the 4 wins for the Red Sox in the 07 World Series against the Rockies. He has been just about as automatic as they get since coming to the big leagues with Boston. He anchors to me what is the big difference between the Red Sox and their main competition, certainly in the AL East, maybe across the American League. An outstanding bullpen, outstanding in Boston. 2 out, bases empty, 2-2 pitch. That's outside, and a full count with Brian McCann in the on-deck circle. Boston carries a 3-game lead into the break over the Yankees. Detroit a 3.5-game lead at the break over the White Sox, and the Angels lead Texas. They've had a fun start by a 1.5 games here at the break. 3-2 pitch. Foul back in the NL. Philadelphia has a 4-game lead over Florida. The injury racked New York Mets 6.5 out. Atlanta 6 out. St. Louis leads Milwaukee by 2.5 in the Central, and the Dodgers have the biggest lead in any division in baseball, 7 games over the Giants. The surprise leader in the wild card chase, but with the best young 1-2 combo in their rotation with Matt Cain and tonight's starter Tim Lincecum. 3-2. Well, everything you knew about fantasy football is about to change. So listen up. Introducing the all-new Fox Fantasy Football with more customizable features and new ways to play. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN and join the next generation of fantasy football. You'll love what you see at foxsports.com. With 2 out, nobody on. Another 3-2 and a strikeout for Papelbon sends the All-Star game into the 8th. And it's still tied thanks to Carl Crawford. What a catch to start the inning and rob Brad Hop. Tonight's Flomax replay. What else would it be? The catch by Carl Crawford that was literally over the wall on a hit by Brad Hop to start the bottom of the 7th, and because of that we're still tied 3-3 now into the 8th inning. And there is Derek Jeter with the son of Mariano Rivera. And here is Heath Bell. The closer for the Padres took over and has had a wonderful first half. 23 saves, tied for the most in the National League. Taking over for the legend Trevor Hoffman. Wow. In San Diego, and the first pitch is over the head of Bartlett.
Breaking ball, and Bartlett getting down. Obviously that ball designed to be low and away.
Bartlett hitting .347, chops to the left side, and with a backhanded pickup and throw. Good stretch by Gonzalez. Tejada takes care of Bartlett, who's 0 for 1 now, and 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Tim and I and all of us at Fox want to send along our hellos and thank yous to members of the armed forces who join us around the world and here at home. this Midsummer Classic as Heath Bell misses outside ball one. Here is Curtis Granderson, one of those few guys that does what any team is looking for pretty much in any sport, the combination of power and speed. First All-Star game for one of the good guys in baseball, and a shot to left. Back at the wall, it is over the head of Upton. Granderson will dig and try to make it to third. The throw too late. And there's the go-ahead run with one out in the 8th inning as Curtis Granderson pushed it and makes it to third with one away.
Good time to do it with one away because you could be on third with less than 2 outs. And Granderson makes it easily.
There is the combination of power and speed to get it over the head of Upton. Then Worth missed the cutoff man, and the throw was way late. Almost lost his footing, but in easily at third base. And there's the go-ahead run with one out here in the top of the 8th inning, and the infield comes in. Molina sticks his glove out. Victor Martinez at the plate. And here's an intentional walk. We talked to Charlie Manuel before the game, and we talked to members of his staff, and we talked to him about who was going to play and how many at-bats. And the gist of our conversation and what we walked away with was Charlie Manuel is going to manage this game any way he can to win. And here is an intentional walk in an all-star game to take the bat out of the hands of Victor Martinez and put the bat in the hands of the young Adam Jones, who waits on deck.
And put the infielders back to a halfway position or double play depth, even though Jones is a fast runner.
So there's ball 4, and why do we mention it? Well, it's something you didn't see a lot of during that stretch before they, and it's been debated plenty, tied the home field advantage in the World Series to the winning league in this All-Star game. Phillies certainly have every reason to try and hope and get a win and break this string. Philadelphia has the 4-game lead in the NL East. So you know Charlie Manuel would love to manage this team to a win, get home field advantage should his club get to the Fall Classic. It's Adam Jones. 12 home runs, 47 RBIs during the first half. Lined out to right, his first time up, and a strike from Heath Bell.
Good breaking ball from a man who has never been on an all-star team in his life, anywhere. Little League, Legion ball. This is his first.
Time called at the plate by Molina. It's Adam Jones at the plate, and off the bench is Kevin Youkilis on deck. The 0-1. Off the plate foul, strike 2. This guy that can run, tough to double. Charlie Manuel is hoping for. Right now with 2 strikes, Heath Bell would love his first All-Star game strikeout. 3-3 game, top of the 8th. Good ball game, fast game. Right now it's Adam Jones against Heath Bell. Good fastball. And a late cut by Jones, still 0-2. National League has not won the All-Star game since 1996. Guys like Derek Jeter never lost this game, and another foul back. And there have been 6 years now where the winner of this game determined home field advantage. Obviously the AL has won that advantage every July. And this was the 6th straight year that the American League won interleague play. Those winning streaks that we talked about earlier. Another 0-2 pitch from Heath Bell. And a fly ball into right field, well hit. Back on the track. That will untie this game. Tagging and scoring is Granderson, and young Adam Jones has just put the American League on top. A one-out triple by Granderson, and he scores on a sac fly to right by Adam Jones of the Baltimore Orioles.
It was a gritty at bat by Adam Jones. The breaking ball in for a strike. And then the breaking ball fouled away with the count 0-2. He fouls one off. Fouls one off. Puts one in play to put the American League on top.
And now Kevin Youkilis off the bench to bat against Heath Bell. Youkilis hitting here in the 8th. The run is home. A runner at first with 2 out. And now if you're wondering about who the American League has in reserve as far as the pitchers are concerned, as Youkilis gets a base hit, the American League will go next to Joe Nathan. And then the all-time postseason saves leader Mariano Rivera if it's a save chance in the bottom of the 9th.
I don't think you can respect any major league player anymore than Kevin Youkilis. I mean, you could really make a case that he's the most valuable player in the major leagues. I know that may be extreme, but think about the money. Kevin Youkilis is making $6 million this year. Not only is he a first baseman, but when Mike Lowell went down, he became the third baseman. And look at the money that A-Rod and Mark Teixeira make, $52 million for a first and a third baseman. I understand that Kevin Youkilis can't play 2 positions at once, but think of the value that the Red Sox are getting out of a terrific player who's made himself an all-star.
Here's Ben Zobrist at the plate, hitting with 2 on and 2 out. He's a great story, but you're right. The remarkable thing is for Youkilis, it doesn't seem to bother him at the plate or in the field, whether they put him at first or third, and what a luxury for Terry Francona. Meanwhile, Zobrist is at the plate, and he plays all over the place. He is homered while playing 5 different defensive positions this season alone. And he's taken over second base for the Tampa Bay Rays, playing in the absence of the injured Akinori Iwamura.
Starting the season as a utility player, and he has started second, third, short, left, center, right. That's right.
You've got Mariano Rivera on your left and Tim Wakefield, a first-time All-Star, on your right. Another tap foul. Wakefield, unless there's a tie and we play deep into the night, won't get into this ball game, according to manager Joe Madden. But at the age of 42 is the second oldest first-time All-Star since Satchel Paige was an All-Star in 1953 at the age of 46. Here's a 1-2. That's low. 2-2 from Heath Bell. Lincecum started. Then Franklin, Heron, Billingsley, Hoffman, Cordero a perfect inning, and Heath Bell has given up a run. A 2-2 and a strikeout ends the inning. But Curtis Granderson, a triple, a run scored on a sac fly by Adam Jones. 4-3 AL after 7.5. We move into the bottom of the 8th inning here in St. Louis, and Brian McCann will come off the bench and bat for the National League. Ben Zobrist is in the game at second. Brandon Inge is now in the game at third base, and Joe Nathan, the hard-throwing closer from the Minnesota Twins, takes over. 4th-time All-Star. And he has been dominant since being moved into the closer's role by the Twins with stuff like that. Became the Twins closer in 2004. Since then, he's #1 in ERA among closers, #2 in saves, and #2 in save percentage to Mariano Rivera. K-Rod, who's on the National League side now, is #1 in saves since 2004.
And the all-time single season leader with 62 last year.
McCann's only 25 years old. He's playing in his 4th All-Star game. Had instability in his left eye during the year. He had surgery on it. The 2-1 pitch popped up on the infield. And Victor Martinez hauls it in. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Tonight's game is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. By the all-new Mercedes-Benz E-Class. And by Gatorade. It's the heart, hustle, and soul of the game. That's G. Joe Nathan gets the first man. That's McCann on a foul out to the catcher. And now Zimmerman will get his second at bat of the night. Hit the ball hard, lined out to center his first time up, and he goes after the first pitch here. Fly ball into right. There is Adam Jones, and there is out #2.
You know, a lot's been said about the money that players make, and obviously it's a lot of money, but there are an awful lot of good things that are done by players too. Ryan Zimmerman, for instance, just gave $250,000 to the University of Virginia baseball program. Brian O'Connor is the baseball manager. In fact, he was the coach of the year. Not a manager, but a coach. And Virginia went as far as they have been ever in a college tournament. But Ryan Zimmerman doing a lot to further that great program at UVA.
Here is Adrian Gonzalez, one of the best pure power hitters that isn't well known across this country. Won the Gold Glove last year as well. Second All-Star game for Adrian Gonzalez, who's been a one-man wrecking crew for the San Diego Padres. And at one point during the month of June, the rest of the league got smart and just walked him. Walked 32 times in June. He had 20 home runs, 40 RBIs by the end of May. But 32 walks in June, a baseball high, and hit only 4 home runs during that month. Talk about a lack of support that they cite for Pujols. It's certainly the case for Gonzalez, and he goes around, according to Angel Hernandez, to strike 2.
Like a slider inside from Joe Nathan. Did he go too far? It was close.
That's wide. The American League pitchers now have retired 18 in a row, which is the second most in All-Star game history, behind a 20-hitter stretch that the National League put together in 1968. And Mariano Rivera will get loose. 2-2 pitch. That's fouled back. All of us at Fox want to thank not just Commissioner Bud Selig, there's George Will behind him, but his entire staff. And what a great ceremony prior to this game, and the ceremony for the All-Stars among us and the Hall of Famers, and a moment for Stan the Man, the job of helping to facilitate getting President Barack Obama into this stadium. Great job by the local police force and Secret Service. A job well done. And what has been a great night. That's down and in. A full count now on Gonzalez. Ryan Howard is lurking. It's Orlando Hudson on deck, and after Hudson, the pitcher spot. Howard will bat before the end of this night.
A home run to tie it is on Gonzalez's mind right now.
Instead, he takes a 2-out walk. So that breaks the streak of 18 straight. And we'll bring in Orlando Hudson, who was easily the best late addition to any roster made coming into 2009. Ned Colletti, the GM, has done a wonderful job there with the Dodgers. Brought him on. He is a switch hitter, complimentary player, 3-time Gold Glove Award winner, and he has proven that he is over the wrist injuries that have bothered him in his career.
He proved that on Sunday by homering from both sides of the plate, once from the left, once from the right in Milwaukee.
The big bat of Ryan Howard on deck. In the 8th, 4-3 AL. And a ground ball up the middle. That ball is off the glove of Bartlett. Gonzalez will go to third, and there's the tying run with 2 out.
How about this matchup coming up? St. Louis's own Ryan Howard, because of this, off the end of the glove of Bartlett. Jason could not pocket it.
A base hit, and now the St. Louis native, Ryan Howard, who has been a wonderful pinch hitter in his career for the Phillies. Look at those numbers. 11 for 28, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs, and Charlie Manuel, his manager, told us before the game he's been a good pinch hitter. I've got to find the right spot, and it is right here and right now.
That's right.
They are dead straight away in the infield and outfield for Ryan Howard, and now time is called as that will change. Bartlett switches to the other side of the second base bag, and Brandon Inge is left by himself on the left side for the AL. Francisco Rodriguez is getting loose just in case. Howard has wonderful numbers inside this ballpark as well. Big rip. 63 games at Busch Stadium, a .381 average in 17 games with 7 home runs, 29 RBIs.
Ryan Howard, a good low ball hitter, prefers the ball out over the plate. That's why Nathan tied him up with that first fastball.
Tying run at third, go ahead run at first, 2 out, 8th inning. Heat that was up, and it's 0-2.
2 straight fastballs above the letters. I think Ryan may see that pitch again.
And that's backing out of play. So you've got Nathan on the mound. You've got Brian Fuentes, the left-hander, and the closer from the Angels getting loose. Really, this would be a better spot for Fuentes if he wanted to use him lefty on lefty. He being Joe Madden. Instead, Howard gets to face the hard-throwing Joe Nathan.
Away.
There goes Hudson. The pitch is up and away, and now that's no insignificant stolen base. A base hit would likely give the National League their 1-run lead again.
Well, and it opens up first base to where you can just throw Howard balls and see if he goes after that high fastball.
If they walk him, they don't care.
Right. Back inside.
2-2. Howard steps out. Very good speed. The runner out at second base, Orlando Hudson. Carries with him the go-ahead run. And a swing and a miss struck him out. Ryan Howard goes down on a pitch down and in, and what a good block by Victor Martinez to keep it at the plate and keep Adrian Gonzalez at third. 4-3 AL into the ninth. And takes over behind the plate. Francisco Rodriguez, the closer from the Mets, having a very good first half. Trying to hold things together for that Mets team, especially out of the bullpen where he resides. Deals and breaks the bat of Brandon Inge. And out at first on the play by Tejada. Little double clutch. But out number one, and now it's time for the Mercedes-Benz E-Class Attention Assist of the game. And it was Carl Crawford assisting the man on the mound by keeping the game tied and robbing Brad Hopp of a go-ahead home run, leading off the bottom of the 7th. Bailing out Jonathan Papelbon, who appreciated the effort. One out here is Carl Crawford, the man we just highlighted. He is 1 for 2. Third All-Star game. 4-time AL stolen base leader, and a good fastball from K-Rod. 1 ball, 1 strike. Crawford, one of only 4 American League players since 1954 with 40 steals and 100 hits at the All-Star break. And Rodriguez fooled him, strike 2. Now in the bottom of the 9th inning, the National League will send Upton, Pop, and Tejada. If anybody gets on, Worth against Mariano Rivera, who has 3 saves in his All-Star game past and has not allowed a run in 7 innings pitched. A strikeout of Crawford, 2 out in the top of the 9th.
Changeup really perfected by K-Rod last year for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim when he saved 62 games.
Here's Morneau. Justin is 0 for 1, lined out to third his first time up. And a shot into left center field. Back is Worth and makes the catch, stretching out in left center field. Wow. He can play all 3 outfield spots. He's playing center in the All-Star game. What a catch. Let's go to the bottom of the 9th. Rivera will take over and try and save it for the American League. He's been in 7 All-Star games. He's pitched 7 scoreless innings. Hasn't walked anybody. Has 3 saves, and he's tied with Dennis Eckersley for the most all-time in All-Star game history. His kid's on the right, and the pride of Panama, 39 years old in his 10th All-Star game, at least selected to 10 teams, takes over. He's number 2 on the all-time saves list to Trevor Hoffman, but number 1 by a mile in postseason saves with 34, an ERA of 0.77, and 4 rings. First up, Justin Upton. 4-3 AL, strike 1 from Mariano Rivera.
Mariano, that is his staple. Catch this. In postseason play, he's given up only 10 runs in 117 and a third innings. With that.
That's just outside that great late movement that Mariano Rivera has featured since he burst onto the scene, setting up John Wetland in that championship year of 1996. 1-1 pitch is high. 2-1. Well, the National League has certainly been through heartbreak. All those years Joe Torre was able to hand the ball to Mariano Rivera for the Yankees. Now in the other dugout, and the 2-1 is chopped to short. Laying back on it is Bartlett, and he gets the out. Good play, 1 away. This game-changing play is brought to you by Holiday Inn. Signs of change are everywhere, and it was Curtis Granderson showing what he could do, representing the first-place Detroit Tigers. A triple into left center field, and he scored what is now the go-ahead run on a sac fly by young Adam Jones. Bottom of the 9th inning, Brad Hopp. .320 average, 14 home runs, 59 RBIs, takes a strike. He's the one who hit the ball that was taken from over the wall by Carl Crawford back in the 7th. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The American League has won by 1 run each of the last 3 All-Star games, and that is a left-handed hitter being tied into a knot. 1-2.
I was thinking the same thing, Joe. If there's anything that personifies Mariano Rivera, it was that last pitch to left-handed batters. The inability to hold up when you go too far. If you do make contact, you break your bat.
Hopp set up at 1-2, and there's that pitch out of the way of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That pitch is relentless.
Now a 2-2, and a broken bat. Another one for the pile. Fouled off to the left. Brad Hopp in his first All-Star game. A .280 hitter into this season. Very good defensive outfielder. Won the 2000 College World Series with LSU and has the most RBIs in the big leagues by a right fielder over the last 2.5 years. He's popped 14 home runs this season. Two-2 pitch. Got him on the outside corner, 2 away.
That's the thing about Rivera. Inside, inside, inside 5 times, and now he paints away. How do you cope with that?
A perfect pitch.
Yeah, he makes a lot of them.
And now Tejada, a former All-Star Game MVP, playing in his 6th All-Star game. Was the MVP in 05, the AL MVP in 02. Hit the ball deep, but caught in right his first time up. Ball one. Jason Worth on deck. Tejada trying to extend this All-Star game. One ball, one strike. Base is empty, and a little fly ball into right field could end it. Shallow right, and the catch is made by Zobrist, and the American League has won again. A final of 4-3 here in St. Louis. And now the National League has not won over the last 13 All-Star games. And it's Rivera with a record-setting 4th All-Star game save.
Joe Madden telling us before the game that in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning it would be Papelbon, Nathan, and then Rivera, and that's how it played out.
And we also talked about how it would be pitching and defense coming into this game. We saw a lot of both. The catch by Crawford in left. The pitching up and down really each side, and that dramatic 8th inning battle between Joe Nathan and Ryan Howard. It was the pitching of Joe Nathan that won that battle as he struck out Howard on a pitch down and in.
Only 2 base runners for the National League over the last 7 innings. Man, what a job.
So a game that lasted just 2 hours and 31 minutes. The winner is Papelbon, who got a couple of loud outs, pitched a scoreless inning. The loser is Heath Bell. The save, the record-setting 4th in All-Star game history for Mariano Rivera. We've seen a lot of those looks after games from number 42 of the New York Yankees. 4-3 is the final. AL wins again. Back after this from your local Fox station.